You know, thousands of women are cured of breast cancer every year, and the figures keep getting better. But for some, the treatment itself can cause terrible problems.
Radiotherapy can destroy healthy tissue as well as killing cancer cells. Now, 2 specialist surgical units in Essex are teaming up, first to repair the radiotherapy damage and then to make the results look as good as possible. Ian Mcewan reports on one woman's treatment.
I thought that was ever so narrow for a 14.
Gloria Passanante lives in Brentwood and owns 2 women's fashion shops. But for 21 years, her life has been blighted by radiotherapy.
I was first diagnosed in February '89, simply because I found a lump which turned out to be breast cancer. And in May the operation was performed, then went on to have radiotherapy. Everything was fine. Towards the end of the radiotherapy, my right breast was severely burnt, and that deteriorated very badly over the next 21 years.
At last, something is being done. This is Gloria's final day at work before a very big operation at the Essex Cardiothoracic Centre in Basildon.
What they're going to do is they're going to do the mastectomy, right? Yeah. Then they're going to rip out the grotty ribs that are a bit gnawed at, tidy up the lung and give it a wash and brush up. Having the shop has been a great help, really. I'm dealing with women all the time, and there's so many women out there that have had this problem, and we've all helped one another. It becomes like a sisterhood, really. See if I'm this trappy next week.
She still will be.
Boiled eggs I can do.
Gloria's husband Vincent has seen firsthand the effects of the radiation damage. He feels angry that medical treatment caused so many problems.
She's putting a brave face for the reason she doesn't want to upset the family, and she doesn't want to worry the rest of the family or myself. So she's putting a brave face to cover up.
Gloria has come to the Essex Cardiothoracic Centre at Basildon Hospital, one of the leading heart and chest units in the country. Samir Shah will make all of the repairs to Gloria's damaged chest. Venkat Ramakrishnan from Broomfield Hospital in Chelmsford will then make it all look as good as possible.
What is unique about this situation is to have both the cardiothoracic and the plastics units with people interested in dealing and having the expertise to deal with this problem. And the collaboration between the 2 units is the real kind of unique nature of this, and the first for Essex.
We hope this kind of setup in Essex will attract patients from far and wide, maybe the whole country, because there's not a significant volume of patients to have this kind of service provided in every nook and corner.
Tomorrow they'll perform a mastectomy, repair damaged ribs, perhaps her lung, and take tissue to repair the area using microsurgery. For Gloria, it can't come quickly enough.
Quite comfortable at the moment with everything. I mean, who wouldn't be?
You got me.
Absolutely. I shall go, who wouldn't be?
And tomorrow night in Ian's second report, we'll find out how Gloria gets on.
The author Ian Mcewan is in the region this evening as part of the campaign to make Norwich the first UNESCO City of Literature in this country.
The award-winning writer, whose works include Atonement and Amsterdam, was the first graduate of the UEA's famous creative writing school. When we talked to him earlier, I said he must have a strong affection for the city.
I do. I had a wonderful year in 1970. I came as an MA student really to do literature generally. I mean, the creative writing thing was only a tiny part of it. And I was the only student who had applied for that creative bit. So I had Malcolm Bradbury to myself in that first term. We met occasionally in the Maid's Head for sometimes 10 or 15 minutes. And then in the summer I'd go out and see Angus Wilson at his cottage in the middle of Suffolk. And that was the extent of the course, but it really changed my life.
Clearly, yes.
Now, you think that Norwich should be the city of literature. Why do you think that?
Well, you talk to any contemporary novelist, and I think most poets, they have passed through this city and read here. It is actually the site where many of my American friends who are novelists all know, all have come to love it. And a lot is down to UEA, the creative writing course, and the reading series that have gone on through the years. practically every major writer in the world working in English has been here. So Norwich is, probably without even knowing it, has slowly turned itself into, I would say, a world hub of literature. And is a very, very strong candidate. I'd be amazed if UNESCO refuses.
One of the other things that the UEA is world famous for is its work on climate change, and your latest novel is about climate change, so an area that you're passionate about as well.
Well, I think the UEA emails have been milked for far more than they ever yielded, and I think it was very unfortunate. It was not really the scandal that it was made out to be. A bit of inter-lab jealousy, a bit of extrapolation of tree ring data has been turned into such a farrago of nonsense. But yes, actually UEA has done an enormous amount of work, especially on the ozone layer. I mean, there's a lot of serious work goes on in the Tyndall Centre, and so it's a shame that the copybook's been blotted this way.
But global warming and obviously very close to your heart. So when you stand back and see the damage that may have done, say, in America, certainly, what do you think?
I think that all universities need good, active, strong PR departments, and when a story gets out of hand, you've got to get in there straight away and take control of it. Don't sit back, don't sit on your hands and think you're above this. You've got to get your hands dirty.
The thing about your book, Solar, is that it's a satirical look at climate change. Why did you decide to write it like that?
Well, a novel that deals with this head-on, and if I filled it with my own opinions, would, I'm afraid, become very, very preachy and heavy-footed. So I decided to put a rather scurrilous fat physicist who won the Nobel Prize back in the 80s, who hasn't done a stroke of science since, and hope to engage the reader in, I suppose, what is really a traditional English comic novel of various mishaps and the comedy of exaggeration and pratfalls, if you like. But all the while, underneath that is a very serious discussion, as it were, going on about human nature and the difficulties it faces with this peculiarly unique problem.
Ian Mcewan speaking to us late this afternoon. A reminder of the top story today. After days of uncertainty, tonight we could be heading for a new government.
It looks like Labour is now out of the running, and we're just waiting for official news from the Conservatives and the Lib Dems. Let's go back to our political correspondent, Andrew Sinclair. Andrew, how do you see this evening going?
Well, both parties' MPs will meet, both the Conservative Party's MPs and the Liberal Democrats Party's MPs will meet in the next hour or so. From what I'm hearing from MPs at Westminster, they will be asked to rubber stamp this agreement. And then one very well-informed MP has told me he expects Gordon Brown and David Cameron to both go to the Palace tonight. If not, they will go tomorrow morning. I'm here in Norwich South tonight with two activists, Simon Drage from the Liberal Democrats and Michael Gillespie from the Conservatives. Let's just have a quick talk about the new government. What are the priorities going to be as far as you see them?
Well, I think it's securing the economic recovery, ensuring that we have strong policies in there, and improving education.
Can you agree on that?
Definitely. The economy is absolutely number one priority at the moment.
So where does the sticky issue of PR sit then? Because you're very keen for it, you're not so keen on it.
I mean, I think that's something that hopefully we'll find out about with this agreement. What's the former words? It sounds to me like there has been movement on this from the Conservatives to look at it, and it's ultimately up to the British people to decide if they want a system of voting reform.
Well, I think it was right to offer PR as a referendum in order to get this coalition and have strong government, but as a party we will be campaigning against it hard.
OK, that's a sign of things to come. Back to you.
Andrew, thank you very much. Sorry we couldn't bring you the item on the rescue of the baby by a new children's service. The programme, Children's Rescue, is on BBC One tonight at 20 to 11.
And the weather, Jim.
It's still cold, Stuart.
It is.
And it's going to stay cold for a little while yet.